let you take it down a little bit, brother. Thanks, man. So I heard a great story, and it was a son and his father were outside one day, and they went to an airport in their small town. And every now and then a big plane would come in, and they were kind of hoping for that. So the father says, son, look. And there was a jet up there, you know, and it was just so tiny. It had that jet stream. Who knows what was coming out of that, right? It had that jet stream going, right? So it was a jet, and the father said, son, you see that? See how awesome that is, how big that is? And the son's like, no, it's tiny. And I don't know how high they fly, 50,000 feet or something like that, right? And so they waited a few minutes longer, and one of the big planes was coming in. He walked him over to it. Here comes this huge plane, and they walk right up to it. And the boy's looking around. Wow, this plane is gigantic. That one up there must be different. And the dad said, no, it's the same. It's just that you're close enough to this one now, and it's big. See, when we get farther from God, He seems small in our lives. But when we get close to Him, why would you love me? You're so real. You're so awesome. You're so powerful. Why would I ever, remember last week, why would I ever live over here, distant from you? Why would I do it? You know, last week we talked about right here, living right in the center of God's perfect will for our lives. In that center, now I understand why I was created. In that center, I have peace. In that center, I realize it's not about me anymore. It's about Him working through me to reach them. All this time, I thought it was all about me. And that's why I was struggling. That's why I couldn't figure out my purpose in life, because it was all about David. But when we come to the center place and we draw close to Him, we realize, oh my gosh, that plane is magnificent. It's a Boeing 757 or something. I don't know. I've never been on one. And that's a whole other story. And so as you draw close to God, not only do you see Him for what He is, you see everything else then that you go, wow, that stuff that I thought was big before, now it flips the script. He's gigantic. He's my everything. He's what I've been looking for. He's what I've been thinking about. He's what I've been wondering about. He's my purpose. That's what I'm drawn to, is Him. Look, we're on this life. The Bible says our life is a vapor. Yes. You know, everything is relative, right? Our life is a vapor. The Bible says, one of the versions says, it's here today and gone tomorrow. It's a blade of grass. Now, when we're going through it, we think, oh, this is lasting a long time, and I got all this freedom, and I can do this and this and that. But in the whole span of eternity, it's just a little bitty blink. And knowing the Scriptures the way that I do, and I have a lot more to learn, but knowing the Scriptures the way that I do, and knowing about God's character, God's heart, God's plan, I believe He's looking from wherever He's at, down from above, I don't know. And He's going, who is interested in me? Not because He's on an ego trip, but because He's the one that creates purpose in our lives. Yes. He's the one. He's the one that creates significance in our lives. Yes. We don't find it over there. We find it here. Remember last week, the difference in discernment is not the difference between good and bad. It's the difference between good and almost good. Because if you're here, you'll miss Him. There's a lot of people that are here, and they go to a lot of churches, and they're religious, and they dress the right way, and they talk the right way. Oh, and they're just so spiritual. I'm sorry. That's not what He's looking for. That's right. He's looking for you to be here, humble, broken, pliable, with a heart that says, I receive your love for me. I don't get it, I don't understand it, but I receive it. And I want you to help me to love you. And I want us to flow with this thing. And then suddenly, pretty soon, you don't see that anymore. You don't see that anymore. You could care less about that anymore. I know. How do I know? I've lived it.